A bunch of you guys have been asking me loads of questions on stream about the process that I go through when it comes to how I edit videos for the Alpha Gaming YouTube channel. And for those that don't know what the Alpha Gaming YouTube channel is, because that has happened, people have jumped into my stream from my YouTube not knowing what the Alpha Gaming YouTube channel is. But anyway, the Alpha Gaming YouTube channel is an educational channel that focuses on the best practices for streaming and content creation, as well as gear that if you are in either of those spheres that you will find useful and valuable. I edit the videos and appear in a few of them, and a lot of you guys wanted to know the behind the scenes process and workflow that Harris and I go through when it comes to making a brand new video. So today I thought I'd go into that process and show you guys the behind the scenes scoop, as it were, when it comes to what Harris and I do when it comes to making a new YouTube video for the Alpha Gaming channel. If you are brand new to the channel and you do not know yet, I do stream every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday over on Twitch. The link to my channel is in the description down below. And if you guys find this video helpful and engaging and informative in any way, then be sure to give it a like, drop a comment and subscribe to the channel. It really helps what I do and I greatly appreciate it. So the first part of the process actually begins on a website called frame.io. Frame.io is a collaboration and review platform for footage, edits and feedback when it comes to the YouTube videos that we make. It allows Harris to film footage on his end, upload it, and allows me to download it, and allows me to upload edits for Harris to leave feedback and comments on, so we can make changes to the edits before they go up on YouTube. This is pretty much our only project management tool. We don't have anything like Trello or Monday.com. All of it is pretty much managed over Discord and over Frame.io, and it's worked really well so far. So I jump in and start downloading all of the footage, and I bring that into Final Cut Pro. For the editing, I like to use Final Cut Pro. I know that's what Harris used to use when he was editing videos himself before I came along. I found it a lot simpler and a lot easier to navigate and manage a ton of media, but feel free to, again, to use whatever software you want to use. If you are looking for video editing software to get started and making content, I would recommend checking out DaVinci Resolve. It is completely free. It's a fantastic solution if you're looking to just get into professional video editing without looking to spend a ton of money right out of the gate. Adobe. So I have the media inside of Final Cut Pro right now. This is actually the YouTube versus Mixer versus Twitch video that we released a few weeks back, and this is what we call the A-roll that Harris films, which is all the footage he talks to directly to camera. So the main types of footage we work with on a day-to-day basis is A-roll and B-roll. A-roll is pretty much the material you see in front of you, which is Harris talking to camera. B-roll, otherwise known as cutaways, is essentially footage that is filmed to explain or enhance a particular point inside of the A-roll. So to use an example, when we are doing videos that involve like the Go XLR or indeed any other products, we will use B-roll to show off different features or different nice pretty beauty shots of the product when Harris is explaining or going over certain features of that product. I'm going to select both of these clips right here, which are both the takes that he has recorded for his A-roll. I'm going to right click, I'm going to choose a new multicam clip. And I give this any generic name. It doesn't really make a difference. It fluctuates. There's no real naming function or naming scheme when it comes to this. For this demonstration, I'll just call this A-roll. And it's going to sync it all up. And what it's going to do is, because they are from the same camera, it's actually going to put them both on the same kind of lane when it comes to the multicam clip. What I would normally do is actually go into the effects panel and I would add a color correction for this particular clip, and I would go in and I would adjust the color, I would add a LUT and all that to it, and I would get the color looking to a point where I'm satisfied with how it looks. I don't need to do that because I have already done this a million times. I've actually got a preset already set up inside of Final Cut Pro that I can drag and drop onto the footage that will give it the look that I'm after. And it's very easy to do that inside of Final Cut Pro. If you want to make an adjustment to anything here, for example, you adjust the highlight to increase the saturation, and you do some stuff to the shadows, and you say that is great, I want to save that as my color, as my look. You can save the effects preset right here. Pick a place you want to save it, give it a name, and away you go. You have a preset you can use for multiple projects in the future. So I'm not going to do that. I actually have a color correction and a LUT already done up for the Alpha Gaming videos, and I have it right here called LUT and color correction. Pretty simple enough. And this is pretty much the look that we have for all the videos, and it's applied it across everything on this clip. I do the same for the other clip like so. So there is consistency across both clips, and do exactly the same thing for the audio. And what that is essentially a compressor, a bit of EQ to kind of neaten up and, you know, tighten the audio up and just bring it some presence and give it some oomph. And that's pretty much it. The next step is actually creating a new project, and our projects are a little bit funky in the way they are sized and shaped. We actually like to go for a different aspect ratio when it comes to the projects and make it look a bit more cinematic. The video format we like to work in is actually a custom format of 1920 by 960 at 29.97 frames per second. It gives it that nice crop of the top and bottom to make it look a little bit more cinematic. So I'm going to click OK, and then what I'm going to do is drag the A-roll multicam clip inside of the project like so. First thing you'll notice is you actually have some black bars on either side of the footage. And basically what Final Cut Pro is trying to do is actually trying to match the height of the media to the height of the project. That's not what we want. We want the width to be what is matched. So what we do is we go into the inspector, into the video section, scroll down to the spatial conform, and we set that to fill. And that will just fill in those black edges and those black sides. And that works to our advantage because what happens is Harris will film with the microphone in shot, and when we do that spatial conform, the microphone disappears and is out of shot. And then from here, it's pretty much time to edit. So the first thing I like to do is actually go through and actually trim up the edit as such and give it a bit of a rough cut to begin with.
I would love some simple animated, like we used to do, animated like infographics on the screen.
So what Harris will do from time to time is he'll actually give me notes in the recorded footage, and that will help me understand what he wants to achieve with the video. So things like this, where he mentions the graphics he wants to have on the video, is just a mental note for me and kind of a verbal note from Harris to myself to kind of know what to expect with this video and what he's looking for.
Ninja's last stream on Twitch. Ninja's final stream on Twitch averaged 48,000 viewers.
So what Harris will do a lot of during the videos is he would actually go over the line a couple of times to get the right kind of presence, projection. I think, what's the word? I think it's projection. Yeah, the right kind of way. The right way of saying the line, basically. The right way of saying the line and making it sound correct and working with the video. The performance, that's the word. Performance for the video. He'll do that a couple of times, and I've gotten into a kind of a good routine of finding out where the correct one starts just by looking at the timeline and looking at the waveform, and then kind of using what's called shuttling in video editing to skim through and speed through the video at twice speed or even 3 times the speed. I'll give you an example. The J, K, and L keys on the keyboard are your best friends as a video editor, because what happens is if you push the L key, you start going forward in time. You press the K key, it pauses. You press the J key, it goes going in reverse. Push any one of them twice, you will go twice in that speed. So push L twice, I'm now going forward twice the speed. I press J twice, I'm going in reverse twice the speed. And that is pretty much applicable to any speed. You can press it 5 times, you go 5 times the speed. I don't actually know what the max limit is when it comes to how fast you can go on the timeline, but that comes in super handy when I want to go through and just play back the footage and find points in the video that I can get right. That's where he starts talking, that's where he ends talking. I will keep that clip and trim the rest. And then it's pretty much rinse and repeat in terms of just going through the timeline, taking out all the bad stuff, leaving the good stuff behind. So I'm going to jump in and start doing that right now. So I've gone through and I've actually now pretty much trimmed up the edit to the point where I want it to be. And what I've actually gone through is actually gone through my second pass as well, and I've already fine-tuned the audio. What I like to do a lot of the time on my editing is I like to use J&L cuts a lot. J&L cuts are an editing trick for bringing in the audio before and after the edit takes place. I'll give you an example. We have an edit right here which actually already has a J cut applied to it, and the reason why it's called a J cut is because it's shaped like the letter J right here. And what a J cut will do is actually bring in the audio before you see the visual aspect of the clip. So to give you an example, just watch this clip back and you will hear Harris before you actually see him in the next shot.
Now, on Mixer, his average stream has about 9.7 thousand viewers. Shroud's final stream on Twitch averaged about 24,000.
So as you can hear there, the audio happens before you see the next shot or the next clip of Harris. It's a really, really cool way and a really effective way of keeping the edit moving and keeping the pace up with the video without having to make really sharp or really drastic cuts to the video and to the audio. The next step in the process is pretty much then littering the video with the standard graphics that we have for every single video. Things like the social media graphics that Harris has at the beginning of his videos, the Twitch and Discord handles, as well as the like and subscribe graphics we have on the videos as well. And what I do is I actually have templates set up inside of Final Cut Pro for all of these things. So what I do is I go in and find the social media graphic and I just connect this to the timeline, have it appear over the top, and that is just a live title from Final Cut Pro and Apple Motion. Another thing that I do at this particular point is actually add the intro to the video, and what happens is here is this clip is actually on top of the video, but it actually appears underneath the animation. Check this out. Inside of Final Cut Pro, you have a blend mode called behind. And what I like to do is I actually like to keep the title sequence on the main timeline and then connect the clip to the top. What this behind blend mode does, if I change this to normal, is it will actually appear above the timeline and above the intro itself. If I change this to be behind, it will actually put it behind the logo because the logo is on a transparent video file. It will just show whatever is on top of that, and then, you know, the animation proceeds and the intro plays out.
Before we get into this super important topic, I do just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by owned.tv.
This part of the video actually involves me going through and actually recording some of the website segments for the owned website and actually bringing that footage into the timeline and showing off whatever package Harris mentions inside of the ad. So for example, here, he'll go through and mention the things you can get from the store.
Panels, banners, literally anything you need. They've got an incredible catalog of designs in there. For example, this design you're looking at right now called Rodan.
So what I do at this particular point is actually go in and screen record the segments of the owned.tv website, and I actually go in and record the package that Harris actually brings up and mentions inside of that video, and then just drop down bits from this video that is on their website, as well as bits from the actual website layout to sort of show off the overlay, give the best representation I can for the package, and show off what you can get from own.tv. And the next thing I like to do is actually have a bit of text and a title that appears on screen that I made inside of Apple Motion that kind of signifies who the sponsor of the video is. So I have a title graphic for that I just connect to the title like so. Simply what it does is it animates a glitch effect onto the video and just tints everything in a particular overlay. And the one thing that I love about Final Cut Pro and Apple Motion is the functionality you can bake into a title template that you can use inside of Final Cut Pro. For example, if I don't want the background to become dark, I can actually turn off the overlay and it will disable that kind of darkening of the background footage and actually keep the title readable and the background visible. And it's a super powerful way of making really reusable title templates and graphics that you use across multiple videos like we do on the Alpha Gaming videos. So what I do is I actually just trim this up and find a point that I actually want to end it at, like so, and then change the title like owned.tv. I always make it owned3d.tv, and Harris makes a joke at me for that. Not today. So what I like to do from here is actually add some sound effects for when the title appears on screen. And for that, I actually have some glitch effects from Video Copilot and their Motion Pulse Pack. Find out where it appears on screen, like so, and then press Q to connect it, and then make sure it is in time. Just turn it just a little bit and play it back.
You know that this video is sponsored.
Like so, and then grab the end one, find out where the text disappears.
Topic, I do just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by owned.tv for all your stream and social media design needs.
What I like to do from here on is actually add music to the video, and that's pretty much the process of going through Epidemic Sound, finding a nice track, and then just adding it to the video. And the way that I like to make music loop inside of Final Cut Pro is just finding a beat to fade clips between two inside of the music. So I have a little segment here of this audio track that I've just faded out very quickly. It's not really that noticeable, and it keeps the video flowing and has that music bed underneath. And you can't really hear it when Harris is talking over the top, but it just keeps it there, keeps the video flowing, and adds that presence that we're all familiar with. Now, from here on out, I'm actually pretty much done in terms of the edit. What I like to do then to finish everything off is I actually like to throw on at the end is the end slate for the video that I like to drop in just before Harris says happy streaming. And then what I like to do is actually add a clip at the end of his video just to show off how good he is in Apex Legends. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much where I leave the edit for right now. I upload this to Frame.io, get Harris to leave some feedback, add some comments on there, and then once he's done that, I bring those comments back into Final Cut Pro and make those changes. So I'm inside of Frame.io right now, but I'm actually in the extension that Frame.io provide for Final Cut Pro for a good reason when it comes to actually editing editing and working with this feedback that Harris has left. As you can see, he's left comments at timecode intervals here where he's mentioning bits about the graphics, having Ninja's logo with numbers appear underneath it, or the Twitch and Mixer logos on the right ones. The same thing for Shrouds and so on and so forth. So these points and comments in the timeline actually can be used inside of Final Cut Pro simply by clicking the import button and then dragging and dropping this little comments clip into the project like so. And as you can see now, we actually have these comments inside of Final Cut Pro, so I can go through, tick off all the things on Harris's list that need changing, and then upload a second version with all the revisions made that will then potentially go onto YouTube later on in that day. I'm not going to show you the kind of process when it comes to actually animating the graphics for these videos, because a lot of the time it's very bespoke and very kind of centered on the video itself, what kind of graphics I'm going to be making. But if you want to see any tutorials or any videos on the graphics that I've done for the Alpha Gaming videos, then be sure to leave a comment down below which video you'd like to see and what graphics you want me to explain in a bit more detail. And that is pretty much it for the video, guys. Let me know if you found this video helpful by dropping a comment down below, and if you did got anything of value from this video. And once again, guys, I do stream every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday over on Twitch. If you want to ask any questions about things I mentioned in this video, I do a lot of just chatting. That's probably the best place to ask any questions. Or if you guys want to get some help from the larger community, we have an amazing Discord full of content creators, editors, designers, streamers, all sorts of really friendly and helpful people that are willing to answer any questions you might have. The link to that Discord is also in the description down below. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care. It's got DNA of the original intro as well. Like, it's got the kind of the pixelated, like there's like history there. There's some light leaks here where the blue kind of like fills the screen.
I didn't even notice the little squares. Ah, it's so subtle.
It's a very sort of very
so
quick
good.
animation. So
Gosh, you're so lucky.